to the roster, waiving Kaiser. Me and Steve are going to break it all down and more right after this.
Welcome to Chicago Sky Central, and here's your host, Haize.
What's going on, Sky fans? Welcome to another episode of Chicago Sky Central, your number one spot for everything Chicago Sky related. Me and Stevo in the building. Stevo, news, man, that we have all kind of talked about. Like it's been a constant question amongst Sky fans, both new and old. Why isn't Kaiser playing more? And if she's not going to play more, why don't we just cut her? Especially after finding out the Sky will not be able to get a provisional roster spot, even though Elizabeth Williams is going to miss the rest of the season. This was the next logical move. How you feeling, Steve-O?
It's understandable. It's a move that we should have seen coming, especially when we found out that we was not going to get a extra spot. So yeah, like it comes to the time, like especially against games like that, we need and against experienced teams, we need another big or just another scorer out there to get out of ruts. And we've been saying, if she's not going to contribute to anything, what's the point of keeping her on the team? Especially while all these teams around us are constantly making moves. Now I understand their moves is a little bit different because they're striving for something greater more than we are. But like you said, if there's things to improve on, there's some stuff we know scoring wise, especially at the guard position and at the big position, that we can add to help us. And if we could do that with some people that's on the outskirts of the league, who it's a lot of them, I think we should have did it. So I understand this move. I mean, it sucks to see somebody get waived, but it is what it is.
Yeah, I mean, and Kaiser's somebody who has had trouble staying on the WNBA roster for 3 or 4 years, and she was able to make this roster due to a injury to Brenna Maxwell. Was never really utilized. She was used like back into the bench player, was mainly garbage time when she did get in games. And it's unfortunate because like you don't want to see a player not be able to make a WNBA roster. I know me and you've been very blunt on Kaiser and her skill set to say that she's just not that good at basketball. And, but to say that you still want a player to be able to work out if they can. And unfortunately, Kaiser just has not been able to. And so, this is the right decision for the Sky. I'm going to be interested to see what they do with that roster spot open. There have been a lot of quality guards at that have been waived recently. Like, I know the Sky technically need a wing, but you got to go with what you can that's out there. The Sky already plays small. If they can find some three-point shooting out there, it's kind of the best thing for them.
Yeah, it's just people got to realize, stop. Out of every sport, this is probably the hardest league to get in. It's a limited spots. It's only 12 teams, only 40 games. So the best of the best, and especially at the guard position, if you gotta be a motherfucker to play guard, especially any type of minutes in the W, because there's a lot of guards that's good. Hell, we know how good Tia Cooper is, and she's not in the league. Like that should just tell you, like there's a ton of players that should be in the league that should have a chance if we have more teams. Like if we had 25 teams, Kaiser would be on the roster. But that's not unfortunately we still trying to add teams as we did. We just added 2 new teams. So that's the only thing we can look forward to in the future is adding more spots to the roster. Possibly one day we will look down the road and we have a 15 spot roster and we'll have at least 20 teams in the league. That will help some and eventually get to 30 like the NBA. But it is what it is. Like a lot of players that are really good are on the outskirts. It's a lot of guards. It's a guard Tia played with LA that she always trains with. She's good. Like there's a lot of good players that just don't make the spot. So it's the most difficult type of roster in sports to make. So it is what it is.
And to add some clarity to this, just to explain, I should have did this at the beginning. I apologize for the fans, especially since we have a lot of new WNBA fans. At the halfway mark of the WNBA season is with all non-guaranteed contracts become guaranteed. So we're a little bit ahead of that, but we're approaching that. So that's why you're seeing a lot of teams waive players to non-guarantee their contracts so they don't have to pay the full thing. So that's probably why this move was made. There's going to be an addition. There's going to be more cuts, and the Sky are probably going to wait to see what other cuts happen around the WNBA before they make an ultimate decision on who to go with. Now, we did get a question in the comment section that do we think this may mean something about Brenna Maxwell? All I can say is that there's been no news about recovery, rehab, or anything for Brenna. So I think this is more because they wanted to avoid her contract becoming guaranteed, then it being an indication that Brenna Maxwell is coming back. What do you think, Steve-O?
Or that they just possibly have their eye on somebody, not
Yeah.
necessarily Brenna. Like they possibly got their eye on somebody, and like you said, you don't want that on the end of your contract when you can make a better deal and a better move with somebody else. So you just don't want to lock down all the spots. It's like I said, it's a tough decision to make. I'm pretty sure everybody on the team didn't want to see her go. They build a real bond with each other. But at the end of the day, we here to win games. And if you ain't helping contribute to win games, you got to be moved around.
Yeah, that's true. Now, do you think that anybody else could get waived by the Chicago Skies? We're looking at non-guaranteed deals. Brianna Turner, I think, is on a non-guaranteed deal as well. She has the opportunity, if I'm not mistaken. Michaela Onywerde is a guaranteed contract, so that's not an option.
Yeah,
also.
it was pretty much Turner. The Turner's probably the only one else. So it is what it is. Like I don't think it's too many people that we constantly see on the nightly basis. They're not going to be on the chopping block, but it's those that we are seeing struggling to find time to just get in the game at any time is probably the ones we're going to be looking at.
That's fair. That's fair. Anybody from who's been waived so far around the league as of right now that you have on your short list of players that you think this guy could take a look at, or you think they should be interested in?
I mean, I'm still high on Fair because I still feel like we can use some scoring from the guard position. I gotta look more deep. I want to look more into some older players because I feel like we missing a key veteran player. Like I ain't gonna lie, like even though Robin wasn't that bad, but Robin on this team wouldn't have been that bad. Like we need somebody that could be a shooter, or just somebody that's older that could be a vet. But I'm kind of interested in Taylor that just got released, the rookie from Indiana. Kinda, I'm not really, but I'm kind of interested.
Now I know that we both talked about this player before when they were signed. Morgan Birch was recently released by the Dallas Wings. Does that interest you at all?
Yeah, that's another brand of shooting, and she brings size with her. And yeah, I think she fits more of a size. Yeah, I like that way more. They kind of threw her into the bunch in Dallas, and she just couldn't get her feet together. So it was like a 3-game thing, and they let her go. So I think, we the ones that drafted her. I understand it's a whole new thing. The people that was with her originally is not longer working here, but I like what she could bring to this team. So like I said, size, so she could bring the outside shot as well. So I like it. I would be interested in that move.
I have Morgan Birch. To me, would be a good one. Now I know there's other players, but we need forwards. I know there's a lot of guards out there that can help, but Morgan Birch, her ability, solid shot blocker, solid rebounder, 6'4", 173 pounds, brings some much needed shooting and things that we could use to the Sky team. Now I'm not saying that this is it's her go home. Like I'm for whoever's going to help the team be the best, but Morgan Birch, especially in her time here in Chicago, offered a lot of the things that we currently could use a lot of, and still a young player as well. So I wouldn't be mad at that one.
Yeah, like it's a couple, but I need to do some more homework to see like what some more people around that's outside that nobody looking. Even some people that I feel like you said, could possibly get waived because it's some talent that get waived that just don't fit there, and they could fit here. So if we could be smart about scouting, are looking at that, that's something we could look towards as well.
That's a fact. That's a fact. Not they said allow Angel to select. Come on, bro. Like y'all can't be so in the weeds.
Who said that?
This Patrick. Come on, bro. Like what are we talking about, man? Bro,
I'm not gonna respond.
Y'all gotta lay off the fentanyl, bro. Like I know it's easily accessible now. Y'all gotta stop. Y'all gotta stop.
Fentanyl, bro?
Like that, because this ain't just weed, bro. Like this ain't just weed, man. This is something more than that. Y'all be tripping.
Maybe they back on glue.
Is Brianna protected from being waived? No, she is a non-guaranteed contract. She can be waived. So, but considering that the Sky lacks so much size, I don't think they're gonna waive Brianna. Brenna's in my mind. Brianna, I don't think they're going to. I'm not saying she's playing the best, but I don't necessarily see it happening personally. So
yeah.
All right, Steve.
It's a few people I'm looking at that we could possibly.
Yeah, there's a lot of players out there who've been waived recently that can help the Chicago Sky. Like I wouldn't be mad at Fair at all, considering how young she is. We're a young rebuilding team. I wouldn't be mad at that, not even remotely. Yeah. I just think that ultimately, it just depends on how they view the positions. Do they want to go somebody who can be more on that in that forward position, either forward position, or do they want to go a guard that can distribute? Because from what we've seen from the scene with having Lindsey Allen out there, the offense has been moving a lot better with the truest thing that we have to a true point, the closest thing we have to a true point guard. Maybe they see that and say, we need another true point guard in here. That's
I
our
ain't gonna lie.
possibility.
I'm trying to look at disgruntled players at this point. I need like something. I've been hearing rumblings and I don't know, but something's telling me, and it's not necessarily for this year. I'm looking more of like a next year deal. Some telling me Kelsey Mitchell just ain't gonna want to stay there, and I'm just saying we right up the road.
Listen, I wouldn't be mad at Kelsey Mitchell at all. Like you said, that's more of a long-term play. I wouldn't be mad at it. She'll come in. She's a veteran. She's been in the league, what, 3-4 years now, if I'm not mistaken. It's been longer than that.
I feel like it's
no, she's been in the league since 2018. Jesus,
yeah, I'm about to say with Kelsey, it feel like it been shorter than what it really is. She been a minute since she been at Ohio State, but it ain't been that long either.
Yeah, that's true.
The reason is just that is I'm just seeing a lot of like I'm starting to realize more and more that we really achieving more of our means, especially on the offensive side, because like we really don't just have some downright offensive hoopers on this team. We really don't. Like besides Marina's probably the really most offensive hooper we really got besides our bigs. So like Kelsey is somebody that I know if she throws a shot up, I'm not thinking about it. It's probably going in. Like everybody else besides Marina, if it's going in, I'm like 9 times out of 10, I don't think it's going in. Like the confidence around making shots needs to grow up, and I feel like we don't have the talent. So that's why I was thinking like I need some more older people that been in the leagues, some more. We need some more real right now talent, more of development. If that makes sense.
That's fair. I can understand where you're coming from with that to help along the players that need to develop. I can see where you're coming from with that. So, all right, fam. But guys, thank you so much. You guys know when news drops, why we are the number one Chicago Sky related, because ain't no it comes down to. But thank you guys, man. You guys can follow us at Chicago Sky Pod. You can send us any feedback, questions, comments, concerns, Chicago Sky Central at gmail.com. And then lastly, if you want to leave us a text message and our voicemail for the mailbag, 773-270-2799. We do share that with Chicago Bulls Central. So don't be caught off guard when you hear Bulls on the voicemail. But